The following podcast is being brought to you by the Defy Life Podcast Network.
This week on the Defy Life Podcast, we will discuss some NFL Week 5 action. We will talk some trade scenarios around the NFL. We'll get our first taste of NBA talk for this preseason. And as always, we will answer some listener questions and wrap things up with some trivia. All that and more. Let's get to it. Yeah, that's what it is. I guess we got to do it then. You all right? Chill. Pool. Out. Money. West Coast. Let's get it. Strap in, let's take a ride. Oh yeah, it's about that time, right? Been waiting all week to get to this. It's finally time to defy life. Let's chop it up, keep it trail, no other way. That's what we do. We might disagree, but it's all love. Guarantee we gon' speak the truth. Yeah, this hit different. My guys with me now. Who's with us? Stick around for a few minutes. It's contagious. You'll get it. You downloaded the realest. Don't feel us, but get out. You not rocking with Defy Life, then what's your life about? This ain't the Defy Life. Told you. On to the shy line. I'm gonna let this ride out though. This is the Defy Life. This is the Defy Life. Welcome back. This is the Defy Life Podcast, powered by the Defy Life Podcast Network. Thank you for listening. You can find us on all your favorite podcast platforms, and now we're available at defylifepods.com as well. As always, we encourage you to like, subscribe, and give us a 5-star rating whenever you listen. You can also find us on all social media platforms at Go Defy Life. This episode is sponsored by Bud Bottles, home of the Bud Bottle and the Bud Freshener. Please visit budbottles.com for your odor eliminating needs. This is episode 127, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, J.R. Glimpf, joined as always by my wonderful co-host, Alvin Glimpf, West Coast J, Yosh, the one and only. What's good today, Al?
Man, can't call it.
No doubt.
Doing good. Good to be here. Always good to do this podcast with you fellas.
Absolutely.
So just glad to be here, man. Glad to be here.
No doubt. West Coast, what's good with you, homie?
All right, you already know I'm over here chilling, enjoying Monday Night Football remnants, I guess, for lack of a better way to put it.
No doubt.
Still trying to figure out how quickly the Niners can keep scoring against the Browns.
I think they just scored again.
I feel like they did too.
Right. Or they just sacked Baker Mayfield again. One of the two.
Yeah. One of them things just happened.
Yeah, man. Definitely good times for you Niners fans. Oh, man. Yosh. Speaking to a man who's in my boat, who ain't got much hope for this NFL season. How's it going today, man?
Hey, man, I don't know about you, but I got a lot of hope for the NFL season, man. We good. We 2-3. And the Cowboys stink right now. The Cowboys ain't got but a game. Got but a game on us. Washington is in the dirt. So, right. Hey, like I said, remember it was my prediction. There's a possibility that we could win the division, and it ain't like we so far gone that it can't happen. So, I'm just saying.
The truth. That's the truth.
We in striking distance.
Well, you're real drunk to be at the beginning of a podcast. You usually don't start drinking until about an hour in.
I'm drunk. I think that whoever thought the Cowboys were going to the Super Bowl were drunk before we started talking. Before they started the season.
I stay drunk. I ain't lying about mine. But
I mean, hey, we had a bad game. I thought we won the games we were supposed to win, and every now and then you could luck up on one or two. And Dallas lost 2 games they shouldn't have lost. Mm-hmm. And actually, these games they got pummeled to the second half. So I mean, I don't know. So I'm just saying, striking this, we in the game.
Well, yeah, all is rosy in the Meadowlands right now in East Rutherford, New Jersey, MetLife Stadium, I say. Until you realize you got the Patriots this week, sir. will hope remain after Sunday?
Oh, I
with
will
no
always have
Saquon.
hope.
All right. Well, you did mention that Cowboys look pretty bad right now. So at least they ain't running away with it. But yeah, it's getting interesting. I mean, my quarterback, as West Coast Jay said, was fighting crime on the sidelines. Now we're down to our fourth-string quarterback. And, yeah, I think all the hope we got right now is that one of these young quarterbacks looks pretty decent by the end of the season, and we can finish 8-8, maybe. But the good thing about our division is Baltimore and Cleveland ain't trying to run away with it either. And Cincinnati's still winless. So I guess I do still have hope. Thank you, Yosh. Perspective, sir. Perspective. Well, as usual, before we get into the meat of the show, I just want to do a little bit of house cleaning. Again, October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. I want to make sure that everyone, for one, is aware of that. And also to make sure everyone's aware that you can support breast cancer awareness via Defy Life. We do have the breast cancer awareness tees for men's and ladies. 10% of those proceeds do go to Sisters Network. So definitely check out the breast cancer awareness tees. If you don't support through us, definitely support somewhere. Also now we have the newly released Defy Life definition tees. We could be a walking definition of Defy Life. Pretty dope. The brainchild of Yoshi English himself. Thank you, sir. So definitely go check those out at defylifegear.com. Of course, we got those and all your everybody's favorites, the traditional Defy Life tee, the graffiti Defy Life tee. Got joggers, socks, everything you want out there if you can represent Defy Life. And if you just so happen to see Yosh in the streets, get a shirt from him. The man got shirts on hand. So we're rocking out there in these streets now. So we're going to jump straight into some listener questions. But before we do, I would be remiss if I didn't bring up the hug heard around the world, or the hugs heard around the world, I should say. We've been talking about Amber Guyger for the last two episodes. And since we last spoke, we knew she was guilty. It was announced she was guilty last Tuesday, right before the show. And since then, we've had her sentencing, which is a maximum of 10 years. She's probably going to do 5. So we heard that bullshit. We knew it was going to be some bullshit somewhere in there. And then everybody just started hugging the killer. Al, what were your thoughts when you saw those images of Botham Jean's brother and the judge hugging Amber Guyger, and you saw the bailiff fixing her hair as she was being sentenced? What were your thoughts when you saw those images?
I think my immediate thoughts was how inappropriate it was and how that treatment would not have happened if she was a person of color. Mm-hmm. And so that was just my first thought. Just, wow, like she's now a convicted murderer and people are hugging on her like she deserves
she's
sympathy.
The victim.
Right, like she's the victim. And so that was my thought, just that, such a bad choice being made, in my opinion. I can't help oftentimes when I see behavior that is inconsistent with my experience to think, make comparisons and say, if that was me, I wouldn't get no hug. If that was my wife, she wouldn't get no hug. If that was my daughter, she wouldn't get no hug. Just thoughts like that went through my mind.
All right. Yeah. West Coast, what is it about black folks in positions like this where we always feel like we gotta forgive and be the bigger person to someone who has done, in particular, has done us wrong in this instance, but in general has done our people wrong for centuries. Why do we always have to be the ones who are expected to forgive and be the bigger person?
I mean, I don't know that we're expected to. I think that overall we just want the moral high ground at the end. We want to be able to say that we're still able to forgive and we're still able to move on. It's like the folks that be in the club on Saturday and in church on Sunday, still want to maintain the image of having the moral high ground. Still want to make sure that people feel like, well, at the end of the day, we were good people.
Yeah, I mean, at some point, like, I think we are, like, even if we're not expected to forgive, I don't think when black people are truly, truly victimized, or whether someone in our family has been murdered or raped or harassed or, fallen victim to racial taunting, anything, I don't think it's expected that people of color are allowed to go through their full range of emotions. We're not allowed to be angry. We're not allowed rage, because then we become the angry black person. And so to that thought, I think it kind of does become expected that we're supposed to continue to condone this behavior, especially when we see on the other end of it, justice not being served. So, just frustrating. Yosh, what do you think? Like, what do you think causes that behavior? You think it's a deep lying issue? Do you think it's a cultural thing? What do you think that comes from? Is Yosh gone?
Like, it's the blatantness is so ridiculous. Like, it's like, man, especially since
that's tough.
Shot in the mouth.
Shot.
That's some personal shit.
Big time.
That's a hit. That's what that shit is.
Aha.
There's Jay.
And he's back.
All right. Yeah, it just dropped me for a second. But yeah, you talking about the witness?
Yeah,
that's a hit all day. But that's adding insult to injury, knowing that shit, we can't even testify against you motherfuckers who do us wrong.
Right.
And last November, he reported that he'd been shot at then. When they first figured out he was going to be a witness, he'd been shot at, got shot in the foot, and his friend got killed. So during this entire time, he thought that, his life was in danger. He let the judge know. He let the investigators know. They did nothing to protect him. He didn't even show up to court for the first day, and he wasn't until they threatened to put a warrant against him. So he flew from Cali back to Dallas, straight from the airport to the courthouse, so he wouldn't have warrants put against him because they weren't protecting him. It's crazy. And did y'all see the clip of the judge where somebody recorded her and the tape got leaked of when he actually was done with his testimony? And he said, "Am I excused now?" And the judge said, "Of course." And under her breath, he said, "I'm surprised you showed up."
Wow.
And I haven't seen that. Wow.
Yeah, like just with this look on her face, like he was on trial. Like, it's just so fucking disappointing, man. But again, we'll have people tell us that it's all a part of our imaginations, and It's pretty fucking sad, man.
Yeah, it also seems pretty fucking blatant.
It's blatant, and at this point, it's routine. I don't know, but in 5 years, she'll have her life back, and everything will go back to normal. And probably by then, we'll be talking about a few more cases of shit like this.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. But no way to pivot smoothly into this next question, our first listener question, because we're talking about lives and real shit. Now we're going to talk about sports. So I ain't even going to try to segue into this smoothly. Our first listener question is from Damon in Augusta, Georgia. Al, I'll start with you.
Yes,
I posted this question to you guys, but also on Facebook. Should I get some feedback? And some pretty interesting answers. But our first question from Damon is, what is the best sports rivalry in history, and what is the best current sports rivalry?
Okay, so for me, I think the best one of all time, and there's some good ones out there.
Mm-hmm.
To me, is Yankees Red Sox.
All right.
And why I put them over is because it's one, the length of time. I mean, that plays a matter, because this goes all the way back to the Red Sox trading Babe Ruth to the Yankees.
Right.
So you're talking damn near a century that this shit has been going on. And then you think about the winning that the Yankees have had, and the Red Sox not winning for so long. The way they finally win, they got to go through the Yankees. Then they have a run where the Yankees aren't, all that. And then to me, what really separates this as the greatest rivalry is that it goes beyond the teams. Like the cities, New York City and Boston don't really fuck with each other like that. Right. And so like that feeds into it. That, I pretty much dislike everything Boston except for my cousins that live there and Boston Beans. That's really about it. Like the Celtics, the Patriots, the Red Sox, all that shit. The racism, I hate all of them. So, yeah, I'm going Yankees, Red Sox. The current one, for me, the current rivalry is, this is a little offbeat, but I'm going with Dallas Cowboy fans versus every other fans in NFL.
Wow.
And I think there's just a rivalry, and it's almost one-sided, but everybody hates us. Like,
kind of an easy target, though.
I get it, and I feel that, and some of it it's a two-way street. But I mean, even we start the podcast today, like just throwing shots, and I get it because his team wasn't expected to win more than 6 games, so he's feeling good right now, and a lot of fans start throwing shots when they feel good. So that's my current rivalry. I'm going with Cowboy fans versus everybody.
Everybody. All right.
Dallas fans versus everybody.
Fair enough. All right. Yosh, what about you? What's the best currents? First, what's the best sports rivalry in history, and what's the best currently?
Well, first off, I want to address my brother Al.
I thought you might.
And it's just like a Cowboys fan to make it about themselves. Cowboys against everybody.
Versus everybody.
That is not a rivalry. That's only a rivalry that was built in a Cowboy's head. So, they're the only ones that think that they're Cowboy haters out there.
Wow.
There are two different types of people in this world. There are Cowboy fans, and then there's realists. Those are the two different types of people we have.
True.
Now, thus, if I stand on my laurels, once again, talking to my man Al, because I love him so much.
That's hate. That's not love. That's hate, my brother. That's hate.
It's not hate, because I love him. Positive vibes only, my brother. Positive vibes. Remember, I must reiterate the fact that I did say the Giants would win the division. I did say that. Said that right here on the show. So I'm not feeling good. It's not feeling good. It's just I'm confident in my pick because the Cowboys are doing what Cowboys do.
And what is that?
Win the division.
No, that's not what they do. Cowboys doing what they do. Yeah, we're going to do this. We're going to do that. We're going to do this. And then when it's all said and done, damn, we didn't do that shit. Fuck. There's always next year. Fuck.
This our year.
Next year is our year. I promise you next year is our year. But it's okay. Let me get off the Cowboys.
Thank you. I'm trying to not interrupt you because you were so peaceful during mine. I'm trying to just stay in my corner. I'm staying in my corner.
Let me get off of that train currently. I would say for me, when I saw the question, I thought about all the great rivalries that I saw as time went on. But for me, I had to go with all the ones over history. You got Packers, Cowboys. You have, and that's football. You got Yankees, Red Sox. You got, Lakers, Celtics. It's been a lot of great ones over the years. Duke, Carolina. But for me, I think I have to go with something I actually saw with my own two eyes coming up, and like you just knew it was going to happen every year. And you were glued to your television set every year. For me, as a fan of this team, it was the Knicks and Bulls of the 90s. It was just always, whether it was a regular season game or a playoff game that went to 7 games, even after Michael Jordan retired, it went to 7 games. And that wasn't no foul on Charlie. Charlie Ward was not fouled on that 3. But, it was just always an exciting thing, whether Jordan was dropping a double nickel or whatever. It was always a close-fought game. It was just amazing to watch. And it was, for me, it was extra special. I was like a huge Michael Jordan fan while being a staunch Knicks fan. So it was like I was having a war within myself watching the game. Right. So as well as being a Scottie Pippen fan. B.J. Armstrong was a player that I related to. He was small and in stature and really didn't bring much to the table, but a 3-pointer every now and then, So, but at the same time, relating to the hardcore vibe and feeling of the Knicks, and New York is just gritty and grimy. So that rivalry for me really was the one that stuck in my head, stood out over all of them. And then right now, I think one of the best rivalries right now, although the last game they played against each other wouldn't really tell that, I think it's Dabo Swinney versus Nick Saban for me right now. Yeah. I think currently Clemson, Alabama, they're 1 and 2 in recruiting classes every year, and every year you pretty much know what game you're going to get in a national championship. You hope for other games, but you can almost pretty much book it that's what you're going to get in this current era. I think what's that, over the last 5 years, 4 years. So if you're talking about current rivalries, I think that Dabo, I wouldn't even say Clemson, Alabama. I would be more so Dabo versus Nick right now is probably the best current rivalry for me.
Yeah, it's a really good one.
Wait, I got one more, Jay. I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry. One more great, and I mean great rivalry that I don't think that can be dismissed by the Defy Life fans or by the fans abroad. Al versus Yosh.
Hey, it's a damn good one.
That is a good one.
It's a really good one. And if we go in there, take a knee for Marvel versus DC versus Yosh.
Yeah, that's another one.
That's another one.
Oh, yeah. And let me tell you something else.
No.
I hit Scott up yesterday. Like, yo, Scott, man, somebody dropped out on us on the Stanley English show, bruh. You want in? Oh, I'm about to record. I wish I could be on. But, man, next time, man, Stanley English show you might not get next time.
Right.
Because next week we got Murray Garvin, head coach of South Carolina State. Head coach on. Then we gonna have Frank Martin back on. So I mean, we kind of gotta fit you in the lineup, but I don't know. Them opportunities don't come along often.
Damn it.
And Scott.
Well, the rivalry continues. It just got heated. Oh man. So, question about the Knicks Bulls rivalry, right? And I know Al's a Knicks fan too. So, there's a question I'm always asked about rivalries. Does the windshield consider the bug a rival?
I would say this. I think that yeah. I would say yes. Even if Chicago won the majority, like they won the championships. So everybody was a bug to that Chicago Bulls team. So we can't even say that there was
good point.
Everybody was a bug to that windshield. So, but when you look at it, the Knicks was one of the few teams to take them to 7 consistently. They took them to 7 consistently. I think Cleveland did it a couple times. And if I'm not mistaken, no, Miami didn't do it. It was them, Cleveland. It was somebody else. God, dog it.
Orlando beat them when Mike was coming back.
Mike was coming back.
But he was on the court, so yeah.
They beat him in like 4 or something like that. 4 or 5.
They would definitely to contest this series. And shout out to Patrick Ewing. Because while he never overcame Michael, he played that was during his prime, and he played his ass off to get him there and to get him to the 7 games. So.
John Starks, Anthony Mason, Charles. Yeah.
But that's why I asked, because as Knicks fans, I'm sure you guys see it as a rivalry, but I wonder if Bulls fans actually see that as a rivalry.
I would say they would.
Here.
I think they would have to. They would have to, because outside of the Knicks, because when they got to the championship game, everyone ended in 6. Michael Jordan never played a 7-game series in the championship, so you can't say that was. I don't know. They didn't really get pushed. I think Cleveland did it. I think Indiana might have done it here and there, but the Knicks pushed them to 7 consistently, and that's not me being a Knicks fan, because, like I said, I was a Michael Jordan fan as much as I was a Knicks fan.
Right.
So for me, whoever won was a win.
Right.
But I think that they would see it in that era, just that era. That would have been. I think that would be the team. I think that your rivalry is always. I think your rival should always be the team that pushes you the hardest to that next level. Like, they make you have to play to that next level.
Well, would that be the Pistons?
No, because the Pistons won all of those before Michael Jordan overcame them. I would say in the 80s, late 80s, Pistons Bulls was a rivalry. When it went into the mid to late 90s, it became the Knicks Bulls.
Okay.
That would be mine. I think his last one was 98. So you would say Knicks Bulls probably started in 93. It was probably the first really good series. So from 93 to 98, it would probably be, I would say, from 92 98, 93 98 was really good series between the Knicks and Bulls. Like, you could almost mark your calendar for that.
Yeah, and I remember, I hated the Bulls. So I was, and especially when Larry Johnson got to New York, I was pulling for the Knicks, hard, especially against the Bulls. But I remember a friend of mine in college, and I don't remember what year series it was, but I was so hyped that this is going to be the year the Knicks finally beat the Bulls. And he was a Bulls fan, and he looked at me all calm and arrogant, like most Bulls fans were at that point. And he said, "You mean a game?" And I was like, had to think about it, like, damn, I'm really got all my energy invested in this game 1. Like, the Knicks are gonna beat the Bulls in game 1, and then it hit me like, damn, they got to do this shit 3 more times. It ain't happening.
But that's because they had Michael Jordan, and during Michael Jordan his reign, I think most NBA fans who were realists, when he was in his prime, really just said, yo, this Mike's year. Like, he was kind of like Mike Tyson with it, where you really didn't really feel like people had a chance.
Right.
And while as a Knicks fan, yeah, I was hoping and looking at the games, looking at them competing and like, yeah. But I'm sure most of America thought, man, please, y'all not beating Mike.
Yeah. All right. Not in the series.
And that's the point, I think, more so than anything else. The Knicks, I thought, on that run was the one team that actually gave you, like, if you wanted to be real with yourself, you're like, yo, we're not beating Mike.
Mm-hmm.
But it almost, the way they played, how hard they played, how much they just didn't take, for lack of better words, they just didn't take that shit. Like, I feel like that gave Knicks fans extreme, like, it gave us hope that it was like, yo, like, we can get them. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, yo, we can get them. Like, shit, like, Utah knew they wasn't getting them. Portland knew they wasn't getting them. Phoenix knew they wasn't getting them. Like, just knew, like, we ain't getting them. Shit, the Rockets had to wait for him to retire for them to get him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, and it's just like, and personally, I think Scottie Pippen probably has a ring by himself if that foul call's not made on Charlie Ward, because I think
the year that Michael was off.
Yeah, I think they could have beat Houston that year.
No, they wouldn't beat Houston.
Yo, Chicago was rolling that year. Chicago was rolling without Mike.
But so was Houston. Like, that's why I think like Houston could have been the only team, and if Mike hadn't quit for 2 years, I think Houston could have pushed the Bulls, possibly beat them, because they had, out of the Knicks, Utah, anyway, they had the greatest player in opposition to Mike. Like, as good as Karl Malone was, as good as Patrick Ewing was, none of them were as dominant and as great as Akeem Olajuwon. And, like, I think Houston would have had a shot. There's no way. I just don't think that Bulls team without Michael was going to beat Akeem. Scottie wasn't that great.
Yeah.
I'm not. I think they had a better chance than, I wouldn't say they had a better shot than the Knicks, but I do feel they had a better shot than the goddamn Orlando Magic that went in that bitch and got swept.
Yeah, but like the Magic beat them.
Yeah, I don't know. But that's when Mike was just returning. They were trying to insert Mike back into that, jacking up the lineup. People weren't happy he was back. You know what I'm saying? Like, there was a lot of turmoil going on at that time.
Man, and we don't give nobody else, like,
no.
We don't give nobody else a sliding scale. Mike don't get one either.
It's no sliding. I didn't say Mike. I'm talking about the team itself.
That's what I'm saying in whole. Like, if Mike was on the court, Mike played for the Bulls.
No, he got beat. No, he got beat. I don't debate that. Hey, I'm not debating the fact that they got beat.
Mike put whatever kind of parameters you want to around it. That Orlando team, they got the shit beat out of them by Houston, beat the shit out of that Chicago Bulls team.
That was with Shaq and Penny.
Right. Like, and, but, I mean, I guess, like, I would see, and what I'm saying is I agree. Like, I think Knicks and Bulls used to be, like, exciting times for me. Because sometimes it's more fun to root against somebody than it is to have, like, a team you're rooting for. So I would be so hard rooting against the Bulls. I became a pseudo Knicks fan because I wanted the Bulls to lose so bad. But I just wonder if, like, Bulls fans see it the same way. Like, if they
that's why I think winning matters to make it the greatest of rivalries.
Yeah.
Because you gotta have both sides feeling the sting of defeat to really build up that hate for the other. Like, it's one thing to know that, you play me hard every year. It's another thing to know you went through me to get to the ring, and I went through you to get to the ring. And every year we are building franchises to try to make sure that don't happen.
Yeah, like I wonder if Pooh was on the edge of his seat the way Knicks fans were. Like,
no, well, I think Chicago fans were. It wasn't like they were blowouts. It wasn't just we're gonna walk in this building or they're gonna come in our building and lay down, and that's just what it's gonna be. Like everybody, like those were really, really good games that were well coached, well played. It just so happens that Chicago had the best player on the planet at that time. And, like I call it a rivalry because you looked forward to Knicks and Bulls.
Yeah.
You almost felt like there was nobody else. For let's say, for the Bulls haters, you almost felt like the Knicks was the only ones that had a chance. You almost felt like it was like, okay, if there's a team that's going to get them, it's them. Because if it wasn't for, if that was, it's almost like who's going to get Golden State? You know what I'm saying? You hope for one of the teams in the West to get them because you knew if they got to the finals, it was a wrap. So it to me it was just that type of deal. So I understand the fact of each side feeling the piece of defeat, like the agony, the feeling of, man, to make it a good rivalry. But I don't know. I just feel like, I think at that time, for me, like I said, for me growing up at that time, like in that, like that's when I was really into sports, really into sports, like that, like I that was one of the things. Like Cowboys Giants wasn't nothing to me like watching Knicks Bulls. And I loved football more than basketball, but like, shoot, I couldn't wait for a Knicks Bulls game.
Shit, sometimes with those Knicks teams, it felt like a football game. But that's what made it fun, though. Like,
it was always physical. Now, it wasn't gonna be easy.
No.
So
right.
we let West Coast been waiting patiently.
Yeah, West Coast, wake up, man. Tell us who's your greatest rivalry of all time and your favorite current rivalry.
Oh, I'm back? Oh, okay, that's what it is. Yeah. We was over there in Knicks land for a while. Overall, the regional rivalries are kind of my favorite thing. Like I love North Carolina Duke. I love Michigan and Ohio State. I love Giants and the Dodgers, who apparently have had beef since the 1800s and 1957 when they actually left New York. Plus, those fans actually like legit kill each other, so that happens. But overall, I want to say that the Lakers and the Celtics, there's that as well. Auburn, Alabama, that was a good one. Like, I like the way that you phrased it. Is it Dabo and versus Nick, basically? But let me think. Nadal and Federer in the tennis world. Serena and everybody else.
Right.
There's a bunch of them. They're all over the place. For speaking for the rest of the country, though, like those Knicks Bulls things, that was not a rivalry to us. We was on the other side of the country, like waiting on Mike, like you said, just like, Mike, are you finna finish it? Right. Like, we got to watch all 7 of these games. All right. But the best one, my favorite one, like I said, is probably North Carolina Duke. Those two basketball teams, even as great as Coach K is, I just looked up his record, and they're like 46 and 42 against Carolina the whole time he's been coaching. So it's always been an equal, anybody can get it type rivalry. That's what I like about it more than anything else, is that every year, it doesn't matter how great Duke is, Carolina might knock them off for no good reason. Or how great Carolina is, a scrappy Duke team will just grit it out and grind it out there. Like, I like watching that rivalry a lot. it's kind of always pertinent.
All right.
Like it's one of those things. Like I wanted to say Dodgers and Giants is real bad, but the Giants suck, so it doesn't matter. And then the Yankees-Red Sox thing, that's so funny to me because when the Red Sox sucked for as long as they did, was that really a rivalry?
Mm-hmm.
Like I feel like until once the Red Sox broke through, I guess it became a rivalry. But overall, Yankees and the Yankees and the Red Sox is pretty funny to me. But like I said, in general, it tends to be pretty regional how the rivalries tend to play themselves out. But yeah, all of that, long and short of it, I still think that Duke and Carolina are both the greatest all time and still the best current one, just because anybody can get it at any given point.
Right. Yeah, it's a damn good one.
Yeah, that is a good one.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, just really quick, like my favorite, and I would say the most intense, even though it doesn't have like the years attached to it, will be Steelers Ravens. For one, just because I got skin in the game, and two, like those were outside of the Patriots because they're kind of an outlier, kind of like the Bulls were. The two most successful franchises over a 20-year span, as far as winning Super Bowls, and they mirrored each other so much that it was so much hate that it kind of turned into respect. Two hard-nosed defenses, running games, like they were so similar. But those like from like 2003 to like 2013, like those were the most intense games in the NFL all the time. And so it was fun to watch. But just doesn't have the history like a lot of them do, considering the Ravens are an expansion. But yeah, you can't go wrong with any of those. Yankees, Red Sox, I guess it's kind of like not as intense to me because I'm not a huge baseball fan, but still respect that rivalry. But yeah, Lakers Celtics to me has just always been intriguing because it's on, like, usually you get rivals that are in your same conference, same division. Like, to have two rivals on opposite coasts, and the only way it really matters is that it gets to the finals, and the shit happens so often that it became a rivalry. Like, that's amazing to me. Like, just that those teams were so good for so long, and they still are always relevant, that it's a pretty good chance that that rivalry is going to go on for a long time because they're always good enough to get to the finals pretty often. And so, like, it's, if they're in your division, you're going to play them 2 to 8 times a year, depending on which sport. So it's pretty impressive to have that kind of rivalry from somebody in a totally different conference.
True that. And got some great, dramatic stories and games in their history.
Right. So, and just to, when you look back like at that rivalry, like you look at the times when it's just positional, like opposition, like when, it was always, when the Celtics had their dynasty, Bill Russell, and then Wilt went to the Lakers, so you had two centers battling against the best two teams. And then it became Magic and Bird, which Magic was a point guard, but they guarded each other because they were similar size, so it was always like that positional rivalry as well. Just always interesting to me, Lakers and Celtics, because if one of them sucks, it throws the whole rivalry off. And it just never happens over a long period of time. But yeah, man, damn good question, Damon. Again, we always tell y'all this: when we spend upwards of 30 minutes talking about your question, you hit a home run. So damn good question, Damon.
Good ass question.
All right. Next question is from Jeremy in Charlotte. Shout out to Charlotte. Interesting question. Yosh, what's your dream car? Jeremy wants to know.
My dream car, ever since I seen this movie back in the 80s, my man, Marty McFly said it best. You made a time machine out of a DeLorean? Like I fell in love. I'm gonna tell you where I fell in love with that car. I fell in love with the DeLorean, of course, and Al. And I don't know if Jay, West Coast or Jay, you've been to one, but the Jacob Javits Center every year they have the car show, the auto show. Oh, man, like for a kid to go, that thing is futuristic cars every single year. You see what's coming out years from now. And I remember the first time I laid eyes on the DeLorean, it was at the Jacob Javits Center at the car show. And it was amazing to me. And to this day, oddly enough, now I'm a little bit older. So, a Benz or a Audi A4, I'm privy to those. A 6 Series Beamer Coupe, like I'm privy to those. But man, a DeLorean, if I ever had some money, I would definitely buy one.
No doubt. Shout out to Mr. DeLorean, Kingpin, drug dealer, for funding that fantastic automobile.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Cool ass car. And if you could travel in time, it makes it even better. All right. West Coast, what's your dream car, sir?
The DeLorean is having me dying laughing over here. I'm sitting here cracking up. Like, just get to 88 miles an hour. We go wherever we need to go.
Right.
My dream car is a shout out to my uncle because he bought one and then I got to ride in it, and it's the greatest thing ever. I have a thing for the Porsche Panamera turbos. Like, I just have a thing for them. They're beautiful. They are fast for effortlessly fast.
All right.
Effortlessly fast.
Wow.
Like, he was like, "You want to ride?" I'm like, "Of course I want to ride." So my brother hops in the back seat of a Porsche off top. Like, what? Wow. Like, we go on with the quick little jaunt, like 2 freeway exits, and he was like, "All right, let's see what happens." Opened it up. We got that about $122. So fast. The spoiler comes up all nonchalant in the back when you get to about 65, real smooth. I love that car. I love that car.
Nice. What color?
I like the midnight blue.
Okay.
With a peanut butter interior.
Okay. Yeah, can't go wrong with that one. All right. Al, what about you? What's your dream car? A muted car, maybe?
Apparently, Al like his understated.
Right. Al likes, maybe it's a Prius because you can't hit them, motherfuckers.
Man, I don't know
where Al is, but
I'm back.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Think about it. What's your dream car, man?
Think about it. Honestly, I don't really have one. I'll be honest. I ain't never been in a car like that to even have too much of a dream car. Like, I mean, there are cars that I like that I've never owned, but it's not to say that if I had the money, I would go buy them. So yeah, I ain't got an answer. I ain't got one.
Yes, I kind of relate. Like, as an adult, I don't think I do have a dream car. I had to revert to childhood, and I always had an affection for a 1957 Chevrolet. Like, I remember as a kid,
Don't say the 57 Chevy.
57 Chevy. As a kid, every remote control car I had, every Hot Wheels I had, all my 57 Chevys were special. I would set them off to the side, and then my dad, when his first car he ever bought was a 55 Chevy, which is kind of similar, but the tail's not as long. And he sold that bitch for, I think he said for like $200. Of course, this was back in like the 60s. But, 57 Chevy. I always tell my wife if there's ever a time she wants to buy me a classic car, get that one, and she ain't got to buy me shit for the rest of my life.
Man, what color?
I would go with the black with the white and silver accents. Yeah, that would be mine.
That sounds awesome. Like, I like to also give a quick shout out to the old school pink Cadillacs.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I got a thing for them too, but I think that goes back to the game.
Yeah,
like,
right.
Something about slamming Cadillac doors always sounded nice to me.
Right. Yeah, and as a kid, I always had like you said, the Porsche. When I was a kid, it was the 911, the Lamborghini, the Ferrari Testarossa, all those cars as a kid. But, kind of grow out of that shit. But the 57 Chevy always stuck with me. Yeah. Well, really good question, Jeremy. Not something I really think about. So, Jeremy, you obviously must be a car guy. So, yeah, damn good question. We appreciate these questions, y'all. Definitely keep them coming. If you want us to answer something, you just want to get something off your chest, or if you just disagree with something we say, hit us up on social media at Go Defy Life, or you can email us at info@godefylife.com, and we will definitely address it. We're going to move on to some NFL talk. Al, you first. Every week I ask you this, sir. After week 5 in the NFL, what do you know?
Again, I feel like this is my answer almost every week, but I know I don't know a lot. Right. Teams that I'm expecting to win are struggling. I mean, and it might speak to the parity of the league. Quarterbacks that I'm not expecting to be ready and have quality games are showing up. So it's pretty interesting from a fan perspective to watch some of these games because, again, while the so-called experts, we think we know something and we put our predictions in, but sometimes it's just like a crapshoot. But what I also know is Houston, their offense is on the verge of being really, really explosive. And I just like what I see when I watch them. I really like Deshaun. I feel like he's improving to be just one of the better quarterbacks in this league. And I just like how he can make these big plays. So that's really what I know. From the Cowboys' perspective, it's been interesting 2 weeks, but I think they are, again, when we were winning, I was like, I don't know who they are yet. And I think you still don't know who they are because we got to see if they can adjust to the adversity. And I think that will really determine who they are, how they rebound or not.
All right.
So, yeah, but it's been an interesting season so far. Really interesting season. I'm enjoying it.
Absolutely. Yosh, other than Cowboys doing what Cowboys do, as you said, what do you know? After week 5.
I'm with Al. Not really sure how much I know. I think it's too early to call the Browns a bust, although it's in the making. It's almost a shut up and play, but I don't want to speak too hastily and then turn around and it be something else. I do know the Redskins suck. And they have no clue what they're doing. Heard an interview with Bill Callahan this morning and said he said the worst thing. I was thinking of the list of worst things you could say about your quarterback, and he said what I was not thinking would be the worst. As soon as we feel Dwayne Haskins has some confidence, we'll play him. Sir, what? So you're just going to tell the rest of the league the man ain't got no confidence?
Wow.
You're just going to tell his teammates that he ain't got no confidence?
Yeah. Well, I guess the flip side would be like throwing him out there when we know he's not ready and ruining him.
Well, I mean, but Jay, like,
I mean, I get it.
Shit, like, how the hell else? Like, you don't never know. Like, you don't never know until you don't never know what a person gonna do till you put them out in that fire. It's sink or swim time. It's box or throw rocks. It's barbecue and mildew. At this point, you know, someone's throwing Colt McCoy ass out there.
Well, okay, so like, this is why I'm kind of always on that side of the fence where, like, if you know you got a young quarterback,
so you want to earn some caution.
No. What I'm saying is, if you know you got a young quarterback who's got a lot of potential, but you have nothing else around him, like that's what Cleveland did for 20 years. They just kept drafting quarterbacks and putting nothing around them, and you ruin a dude in his first year. Same thing happened to Derek Carr. Same thing happened to Jamarcus Russell, other than him eating himself out of the league. But
Jamarcus Russell, he ate himself.
But we've seen it countless times where, you know, like, I don't think it's like any one way to be successful with a young quarterback. We see guys. Ben Roethlisberger came in his first year as a starter and went 14-1. But you also see the Aaron Rodgers who sit for 3 years. So I think it's, you know, you got to know that individual. So if they don't think he's ready, especially to carry a team that's this bad, you know, and especially when your best offensive player is your left tackle who's still holding out. And I don't know if you want to throw your young quarterback out there yet. So I mean, Colt McCoy is bad. Don't get me wrong. I definitely agree with you. Colt McCoy is pretty awful. But I want to see Dwayne Haskins succeed in the long term. And I hate the fucking Redskins, but I want to see that brother, you know, successful for the long term versus saying, hey, just throw him out there because you got to play him. Like, if he ain't ready, he ain't ready.
Yeah, I mean, I guess so. I don't know. I think that, I don't know.
You're right about one thing. The Redskins suck.
Yeah, well, I mean.
They are absolutely terrible.
They are, they're what one of my students said the other day. They're ass cheeks.
They are ass cheeks.
Wow.
But I don't know. I think that this season has been so up and down that you really don't know between injuries and everything else. I don't know if we really will ever know anything until maybe week 10.
Yeah, I do know that. I agree with that's some shit you just don't say to the media. You don't say it in public that the dude ain't got no confidence.
Yeah.
Like, you don't say that. So I definitely
what you believe.
Right.
I don't think said that. Like, if you don't think you got any confidence, like that shit should stay. Excuse my language. That should definitely stay in house.
Yeah, absolutely. Yo, you know what I find is funny? How many times Yo's been on this show? And Yo's finally said, excuse my language. That shit's hilarious. But like now Yo says, excuse my language.
Well, one time for good measure.
What's up, fuckers?
Thank you.
There we go.
I've been trying to figure out where that was this whole time.
Right.
Listen, I put the show in iTunes jail, and I didn't want to be the culprit again.
Well, that was my fault though. So I didn't click I didn't Yosh proof the show.
Gotta Yosh
right.
the
show. But that's the craziest shit I've heard a coach say since it was Isaiah Thomas when he was the GM of the Raptors, when he said it's so crazy it just might work.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
like that. You don't want your GM saying shit like that.
Yeah, you just don't want. It's just not a good look. But that's my spill. That's what I know. That I know nothing at all.
All right, West Coast. What do you know about the NFL after 5 weeks?
What I know is that the 49ers are fast.
They are pretty damn fast.
Like legit. The first play out, Matt Breida down the sideline was hilarious. I was just like, oh, all right, well, that guy's moving.
Yeah, that was some Tecmo Bowl shit.
Yeah, like straight up. That was exactly what that was. Red Sea Pardon out.
All right.
Other than that, I pretty much am with everybody else. I don't necessarily know that I know anything other than they're fast. The 2 and 2 packs are starting to crack me up. Like now, everybody the 3 and 2 and 2 and 3 packs.
All right.
Like there's so much of that in the league right now that it's really difficult to, like, once you get past the 4 and 1s and the 4 and 0s and 5 and 0s, that like 15 or so teams are just all 2 and 3 or 3 and 2. So like, I guess what I know is that any given Sunday somebody could win.
All right. Okay. Yeah. What I know is Kirk Cousins is a genius level thief. That dude he need to show up every week to pick up his paycheck in a ski mask with a gun. And then he always does this, what he did this week, have a pretty decent game to kind of buy himself more time. Like, Kirk Cousins is pretty bad. Minnesota, enjoy it. And then word is that they are so disenchanted with Kirk Cousins that they're willing to eat up to $28 million of his guaranteed salary to pay him not to play anymore. So it's been pretty bad. But he apparently played well enough this week to have Donald Trump reach out and give him a congratulatory call. Usually presidents don't call because you win a game in week 5. But maybe he feels like he's short on time and Kirk is short on time. So there you go. I don't know. But I do know that Kirk Cousins is a professional great thief. So, but yeah, much like y'all, ain't much else you can kind of know. It's kind of been an up and down season, especially with so many quarterbacks going down, getting hurt. It's kind of hard to read so far. Another thing I do know, which will lead us into my next question for y'all. The Jags need to just go ahead and trade Jalen Ramsey because he ain't going to play no more for them. He's going to make up injuries and sicknesses and baby mamas until he's just out of there. So I'm going to give y'all a list of players who are either holding out or wanting out. Pick one of these players and give me the best trade scenario for said player. So on this list, you have the aforementioned Jalen Ramsey, Vikings wide receivers Stephon Diggs, the aforementioned Washington offensive tackle Trent Williams, Chargers running back Melvin Gordon, and Broncos wide receiver Emmanuel Sanders. West Coast, pick one of those guys and give me the perfect trade scenario for him.
Jalen Ramsey straight up for Stephon Diggs.
Wow.
Like, ideally, I think that works for both of them.
It does.
Stephon wants out, and Gardner Minshew and his mustache will get a new toy that'll actually catch the ball. Talking to you, D.D. Westbrook.
Have the best cornerback
duo in the league. Like, straight up, hands down, without question. Him and Xavier Rhodes is like you don't throw to the outside. That's just what goes on. Like that would be the simple, short, and precise answer is straight up trade them two for each other.
Wow. And ain't both of them from Florida State? Jalen Ramsey and Xavier Rhodes? Yeah. Hell yeah. Shoot.
Yep. I had them nose back there, man.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that'd be deadly. All right. Shit. Yosh, can you top that? Pick one of those guys and give me a trade scenario. Which team would they fit best with?
See, I tried to come up with one, but I thought there was two ones that would make sense. Two trades, two guys. One, I think Jalen Ramsey at first I thought Jalen Ramsey to Philly because they're contenders or pretenders, we don't know. But and all of the injuries they had to their back end. Then I thought about something. I think the team that should make a move on him is the Baltimore Ravens. I think if you put him opposite the other kid, Jesus Christ, what's that kid name?
Humphrey.
Yeah, he's arguably the best corner in the game. Besides, along with Jalen Ramsey. If you get those two, yeah, you can. I think you can do some things. And then Melvin Gordon. I think the team that should trade for him, which would be a complete match made in heaven. Y'all may think I'm crazy, but I think San Francisco will be a great spot for Melvin Gordon.
So instead of having 2-3 guys who can kind of do everything, they get one guy who can be dominant.
Yeah.
Get it? Okay.
And then they would be able to deal one of those guys and maybe a pick or two to the Chargers to satisfy that. and you get a dominant back who's certified 3-down back who can do it all.
Okay. I can do
possibly take some pressure off of the passing game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Interesting. Okay. Al, what say you? Pick one of those guys and give me a trade scenario.
So I'm going to go with one that we haven't mentioned yet, and I'm going with Gordon to the Texans. And giving them more. I mean, they lost, what was that, Lamar Miller, beginning of the season. So give them another high-quality back.
But don't they have the guy from Cleveland?
Yeah, Carlos Hyde. Yeah.
Yeah, they got Duke Johnson too.
Duke Johnson.
Yeah, and Duke Johnson. Yeah.
Duke Johnson's been balling.
Yeah, I'd still take Gordon over both of those players, though.
Yeah.
And Ramsey, I'd like to see him go to the. If I can match him up, I would throw him to Green Bay and give them another playmaker on their defense and allow that to bolster that secondary, because I think that's where they're weak at, is the secondary.
Not bad. All right. If I had to pick one, I would go Stephon Diggs to Seattle. Russ has Lockett right now as his number one receiver. And Lockett's, he's a good player, but I don't think you look at him as your number one. If you give Russell Wilson a legit number one receiver, like I don't think he's ever had, I think it'll be pretty interesting to see how, and Russ is probably already the front runner for MVP. So it'll be interesting to see if you give him a legit number one receiver.
I mean, we have seen him with a number one. Him and Doug Baldwin had a legit thing.
Yeah, but I don't think you put Doug Baldwin in the same category of like legit number ones, like Julio, Antonio, DeAndre. Like he was good with Russ, but I don't think you were like.
You don't think he could go anywhere and be good?
Yeah, like where's Doug Baldwin now?
He's out the league.
You want me to tell you how I think actually?
Like he retired.
Yeah, he did.
I think get him. Who actually get Stephon Diggs, who could actually deal for him and make the deal happen if things go south for the Vikings. I think the Patriots make a move.
They could. Yeah,
because they got draft picks. They got the things to give up, and they really don't care about draft picks. So they'll give up some shit to get Stephon Diggs. I just think that's a move they'll make, that they would make if Stephon Diggs actually ends up on that block.
Yeah, I think when it comes to the Patriots, you got to look at Stephon Diggs and Trent Williams.
Yeah,
So, but the only thing about Diggs is he's already signed an extension, so I don't know how they work that under the salary cap, as opposed to Trent Williams, who needs a new deal, and they can kind of work his deal around what they have available. But that definitely wouldn't count, especially, we all know the reason why they wanted Antonio Brown and they kept him around for as long as they did, and why Tom Brady still wants him is because, they need help at receiver. Diggs would definitely be, that'd be scary. All right. We're gonna jump into a commercial. We're gonna come back and talk some NBA since preseason has started, and then we'll wrap things up with some trivia. We'll be right back after this commercial break.
Yo, the summertime is winding down, so it's time to go ahead and get that fall wardrobe together. Check out the new fall line from Defy Life Gear. It's got all new designs, jackets, socks, and you gotta check out the brand new alternate logo. We also got sweatshirts for all the podcast gear you love so much. So go ahead and visit www.defylifegear.com. That's www.defylifegear.com to get your gear today. And remember, Defy Life, lifestyle defiant. It's defylifegear.com.
Yo, welcome back to the Defy Life Podcast. It's episode 127. This is J.R. Glimpf. And with me is Alvin Glimpf, West Coast J, the one and only Yosh. Guys, it is NBA preseason. Did that shit come up quickly as hell to y'all? Because it snuck up on me.
I mean, it seems like it did just sort of pop up on us.
Right. All of a sudden, like...
Seemed like the season just ended.
Right.
Right.
But I know one thing looks as expected is AD and LeBron are going to be pretty hard to stop. That's going to be tough.
Yeah, they was clicking.
Yeah.
They was clicking.
Already.
Man, ran the Warriors out the gym.
All right. And shout out to Steph for trying to christen the new arena and shoot a 40-foot air ball. Shout out to Steph.
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah, man. But we ain't gonna get too deep because again, it is the first few days of preseason. But something that was interesting to me was the NBA is now mandating that teams verify players' heights and correctly for the first time in NBA history. So as opposed to Kevin Durant being listed as 6'9", and Charles Barkley being listed at 6'6", shit ain't happening no more. They have to officially have verified heights on these guys. So, Al, you first. Give me one name from the past, like a past player, and a current player who you think would have the most incorrect listed heights.
Well, you mentioned one, that's Charles Barkley. He has been, for me, somebody who I was shocked when I finally found out his height. Just because of not only how he listed, what it was listed, but how he played. He just played above the rim, the rebounding. It was just, I go with Barkley all the time. A current player, somebody that would just kind of, who can I think of? I think when you look at, I think Durant might be a little shorter than the 7 foot. And so I'm curious to see what his real height is.
They list him as 6'9". He's been listed as 6'9" since he came into the league. But the story's always been that he's closer to 7 feet.
Right. I'd like to see what his real height is.
Right. Yeah, that'll be interesting. And, it came out this week that Zion was listed at 6'7" at Duke, and, his official height is 6'6". Some people went nuts. But, I don't know. West Coast, who would be the player past and player present who you think would have the most incorrect listed height in NBA history?
I want to think my favorite one was probably Allen Iverson, who I think they almost always listed at 6'1". Like I stood next to dude in the club.
Yeah, Chuck was 5'11".
He's 5'10", 5'11", max.
Yeah.
Like max.
Mm-hmm.
So that one always made me laugh. Like 6'1"? I mean, it's only a couple of inches, but I think they just wanted him to be 6 feet tall in their minds, I guess.
Right. Yeah.
Like something about it made him feel better about the crossover if he's 6 feet tall.
Yeah.
Never got that. Never got that. But Kevin Durant's the most blatant, most ridiculous. Like, that's legitimate. He might be 7'1". Like, he's legit 6'9". Nah, not in 10 years now. He hasn't been 6'9" in forever. You know, he already got a 14.5-foot wingspan. So, in reality, we don't know how big he actually is. Right. So, when they actually list him, I'm curious to see what the number actually is.
Right. And I'm wondering, are these official heights going to be barefoot or in shoes? You know, basketball does it both ways sometimes. I don't know. Yosh, what about you? Which player from past, which player from present you think will have the most bogus listed height?
I think Charles Barkley is one from the past. I agree with everybody else pretty much. And then Zion Williamson. I think Zion's actually closer to 6'4". Than anything else. I don't know if he had a growth spurt since I seen him in the high school All-Star game. He's about 6'4", between 6'4" and 6'5". So it'd be interesting to see where he actually measures, what he actually measures.
Yeah, they got Zion. Zion actually measuring at 6'6".
At 6'6", yeah.
Yeah, and he's probably still growing.
Yeah, they lying.
Yeah.
Well, then again, I haven't seen him lately, so.
Yeah.
Well, maybe 6'6".
Yeah. So he, I mean, and if they keep up with this year after year, it wouldn't shock me if Zion's 6'8" in 2 years. He's still a young kid. So I don't know.
Yeah, he can still grow a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, that's literally what happened to Kevin Durant. Even if he came in the league at 6'9",
right. Exactly.
Like KD kept growing.
Right. Same thing with Dwight Howard. He was about 6'9" when he came to the league, and he grew 6'11". I think like the most, like one of the most bogus ones to me has always been because dudes that play center, especially back in the day, wanted to be 7 feet tall. And like dudes like Kevin Durant, Kevin Garnett, who didn't want to be centers but were just really tall, never wanted to be listed as 7-footers. So there was always this running joke about Kevin Garnett that he's 6'13", because nobody wanted to list him as a 7-footer. But Akeem Olajuwon was listed as 7 feet tall. He was nowhere near it. He was closer to 6'9". So I think that would be it would be great to know how tall Akeem really was. And one current day I really want to know, I don't think Chris Paul is actually 6 feet tall. Kind of breaking news you got, Yosh?
Yeah, I was serious.
Right. Yosh over there pushing the breaking news button. Dylan and Kim show up. But yeah, I don't think Chris Paul is over 6 feet. Y'all ready for some trivia?
Yeah, man, let's do it.
Yeah.
All right. Is Yosh still there? Did Yosh get abducted? I don't know. He over there playing.
Now,
with the
maybe
sound.
that was the breaking news.
Maybe that was the breaking news. Maybe we're getting ready for I'm out, fuckers. I don't know. So.
Maybe that was his help signal. Like
maybe. It's like, I can't say nothing.
Maybe we should be sending somebody to check him out in our office in Nebraska.
Hey, you never know. If we can help Pooh and Money work on the plumbing, since that's where they at tonight. I don't know.
That plumbing is a bitch.
Plumbing's a bitch, but hey, Money's the one that shoved all them camera and cassette tapes down the toilet, so he need to fix that shit. So,
well, I don't blame him on that.
Right.
I was wondering where those went.
Wow.
Oh, man. Well, all right. So, categories for tonight. First one, we have What Up, Coach? Talking about black college basketball coaches. Little Big Men, NBA centers under 7 feet tall. Next category is, we're going to flip this one. It's usually three men in a squad. Tonight we're going 3 squads and a man. We talk about NFL journeymen. Where I give you the 3 most recent teams of this position player, and you tell me who that player is. And the last category is White Men Can Jump. We're talking about really athletic white guys. And each category has 3 point levels. So, who won last week?
Not me. Repeat them again, though.
First one is What Up, Coach? We're talking about black college basketball players. Not black colleges, but college basketball coaches who are black. Little Big Man, NBA centers under 7 feet tall. Okay. 3 squads and a man, the NFL Journeyman Edition. I'll give you the most recent 3 teams of the guy, and you give me the player's name. And White Men Can Jump, really athletic white guys.
Okay.
All right. I think Yosh won. Did you win last week, Yosh? I think so. But Yosh might not be here. So if Yosh ain't here, we will go.
I'm here.
Okay, there you go.
I muted myself while I had an appointment at the lavatory.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, so Yosh, then West Coast, then Al. Did you get the categories, Yosh?
Yeah, I got you.
Okay. All right. Where are we going and with what point level?
NFL journeyman for 4.
All right. We're going 3 squads and a man, NFL Journeyman Edition. We only going on each category is 1 through 3.
Okay, 3.
3. All right. This player is a cornerback. His most recent 3 teams are the Patriots, the Broncos, and now the Rams. Who is this player? 10, 9, 8, 7.
Akeem
6.
Talib.
Akeem Talib is correct. 3 points for Yosh. And for double points, what is his alma mater? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6.
I have no clue.
5.
I want to say somewhere in the Midwest, but I don't know.
It was somewhere in the Midwest, and the correct answer would be Kansas.
Oh, well.
All right. West Coast. Where we going and for what point level?
Let me get the White Men Can Jump. Let's see what the 3 talking about.
White Men Can Jump for 3. A quarterback in college, he worked out as a wide receiver during the 2005 NFL Combine. At 6'6", 237 pounds, he ran a 4.37 with an impressive 39.5-foot vertical. The Jaguars picked him in the first round of that draft. Unfortunately, he was not as good of a football player as he was an athlete. He lasted only 4 years in the NFL. Who is this guy?
What year did you say that was?
2005. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3.
I am drawing a complete blank. I have no idea.
His name was Matt Jones, quarterback at Arkansas.
I can't remember his name.
Oh yeah, like I was.
Sunshine.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
All right. Al, where we going for what point level?
Let me get What Up, Coach for 2.
All right. What Up, Coach for 2. While at Arkansas, he coined the phrase 60 minutes of hell for his team's hounding defense. He won an NCAA title in 1994.
Nolan Richardson.
Nolan Richardson is correct. And for double points, can you tell me the name of the coach who replaced him when he left Arkansas?
Oh, Mookie Blaylock. Like I haven't.
Mookie Blaylock is incorrect. The guy's name was Stan Heath. Yeah. All right, Yosh, back on you.
What up, coach, for 3?
What up, coach, for 3? He won a title while at Kentucky in 1998. He is currently the head coach of High Point University.
Oh God,
10,
that is
9,
shit.
8,
Tubby Smith.
7. Tubby Smith is correct. 3 points for Yosh. And can you tell me the name of the coach who replaced him at Kentucky for double the points?
John Calipari.
John Calipari is incorrect. It was actually Billy Gillespie, who lasted only 2 years after stinking up the joint after Tubby left. All right. 3 more for Yosh. All right. West Coast, where we going?
Let me do the journeyman for 2.
3 squads and a man, NFL Journeyman Edition. For 2, this guy's a running back. His most current 3 teams were the Detroit Lions, the Los Angeles Rams, and the Oakland Raiders.
And the Raiders.
Hold on. Let me check something here. Because I think I got 4 teams listed, so I want to make sure these are in correct order. Yes, that is correct. 3 most current teams are but I got them in reverse order. So 3 most current teams were the Raiders, the Rams, and most recently the Detroit Lions.
Was that C.J. Anderson?
C.J. Anderson is correct, sir.
All right.
This is a damn good one. For 2, and for double the points, what's his alma mater, sir?
I don't know. High Point University?
Might as well be Laney College. Is where C.J. Anderson.
Wow. Wow. Never heard of it.
Yeah.
What's left, Jay?
And what up, coach? You have the 1. Little big man, you had 1 through 3. 3 squads and a man, you have 1. And white man can jump at 1 and 2.
I think I will go with small, little big man.
All right. Little big man. All right. For what points?
I'll take 3.
Little big man for 3. He won 2 titles with the New York Knicks and became a legend when he hobbled into Game 7 of the 1970 NBA Finals with a torn quad muscle.
That's the 3?
That's the 3, son. You should have picked it. Willis Reed.
Willis Reed is correct. And for double the points, where did Willis Reed go to college?
Ooh. Winston-Salem State.
Good guess, actually. He went to Grambling State.
Okay.
All right. Nonetheless, 3 points for Al. All right, Yosh, where we going? And just a point recap, Yosh has 6, West Coast has 2, Al has 5.
Ooh. What else got 3 in it?
No more 3s are left. You have the 1 and the 2, and white man can jump. 1 and the 1 in 3 squads and a man. 1 and 2 in little big man, and the 1 in what up, coach?
Let's go 2 in the little big man.
2 in little big man. Big and burly, yes, but this Washington Bullets Hall of Fame center was hardly desired height at 6'7".
Oh shit.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2.
You have absolutely no clue.
Man, I should have left that shit for me.
Correct answer is Wes
Unseld.
Unseld. Wes Unseld.
Yes, sir.
You just telling your age, Al. You just telling.
I am. But that dude was a feast on the boards and threw one of the best
outlet
two-hand
passes.
outlet passes.
Right.
He was a beast.
He was actually, Kevin Love actually modeled his game after Wes Unseld. All right. West Coast, we going.
What you say was left, Jay?
We have the one in What Up Coach, Little Big Men, and 3 Squads and a Man, and the 1 and 2 in White Men Can Jump.
I guess. Let me have that 2 in White Men Can Jump.
White Man Can Jump for 2. He sits 5th all time on Green Bay Packers receiving yards list. Who is this white dude?
Jordy Nelson?
Jordy Nelson is correct.
I can't remember his name.
Yeah. For double the points, where did Jordy Nelson go to college?
Was he a Dover? Did he go to Notre Dame?
Yeah, that is incorrect. Jordy Nelson went to Kansas State.
Oh, yeah. I wouldn't have known that offhand.
All right. Al, there's only 1 pointers left in each category. You can tie this up or take the lead with a double pointer. Where we going?
Let me go Little Big Man.
Little Big Man for 1. Regarded by many as the GOAT. He measured in at only 6'9" and has the most championships of any player in NBA history.
Bill Russell.
Bill Russell is correct. 1 point for Al. And to take the lead, can you get double points? Where did Bill Russell go to college?
University of San Francisco.
San Francisco is correct. All right. Al takes the lead with 7. Yoshi, 1 point behind. Where we going?
What's left? Because it's my last.
Yep. You got the 1 in What Up Coach, the 1 in 3 Squads and a Man, and the 1 in White Men Can Jump.
Let's go the 1 in White Men Can Jump.
White Men Can Jump for 1. He's the only white dude to ever win an NBA slam dunk contest. Who is this white dude?
Oh, God.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4.
Barry.
2.
Brett Barry.
1. Brett Barry is correct.
Nice.
And for double points for the lead, where did Brent Barry go to college?
Okay, now this I know.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6,
the
5,
Oregon State.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Oregon State.
Oregon State is correct. Yes, sir. All right. 2 points for Yosh. Takes the lead. West Coast.
No, give me the journeyman, man.
3 Squads and a Man for 1. This quarterback, last 3 teams were the New York Jets, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and most recently the Miami Dolphins. 10, 9, 8, 7.
Jesus
6,
Christ. I'm mad that as soon as you said Dolphins, it threw me all the way off. I have
3,
no idea.
2.
Brian
1.
Tannehill.
Brian Tannehill is incorrect. You're going to kick yourself, sir. This is the ultimate quarterback journeyman, Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Oh, Fitz magic. Yep, you're
Fitz.
right.
Fitz.
All right.
Fitz magic.
Al,
Damn.
for the tie and possibly the win, you are left with What Up, Coach?
What up, Coach?
All right. This icon, who stands 6'10", led Georgetown to 596 wins and 1 NCAA title during his tenure. Who is that coach? 10.
One of my favorite coaches
9.
out there. That'd be John Thompson.
John Thompson II. Yes, sir. And for double points and the win, Who's the coach who replaced John Thompson at Georgetown?
Oh, that I don't know. John Thompson Jr. I know that's not the right answer.
Can I get it for the win?
Yes. No, you already won. But you can answer.
I thought I had to tie. I thought
He tied.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry, you tied. No, you cannot get that for the win. I got a tiebreaker question. But Yost, do you know that answer?
Thompson the third.
That's incorrect. Big John is actually John Thompson Jr. John Thompson III, his son, took over after the guy who replaced him. The guy who replaced him was John. The guy's name was Craig Esherick, who was actually a lawyer. And John Thompson liked him and hired him on his staff after he'd been a graduate assistant, and he sucked. And now he's a lawyer again. Yeah.
Wow. Hey, John Thompson III, is he still coaching Georgetown?
No, Patrick Ewing's coaching Georgetown now.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Pete, that's right. Mm-hmm.
I forgot where. Last time, is John Thompson III, is he still at, like, Princeton?
I
know
don't
he was
know
in
where
the Ivy League at one point. Yeah. Don't know. All right. So, for the tiebreaker question, all right, I am going to give you a guy. I'm sorry. I'm going to give you three guys who all went to the same college. One plays for an NFL team. Well, they all play three different sports. So whether it's NFL, NBA, Major League Baseball, or hockey, they all went to the same college. Okay? So I give you the three guys. You give me the college they went to.
Okay.
Got it? All right. So first one. Yosh, you up first? Hold on.
So.
All right.
Well, while we wait, John Thompson III is currently working with the Washington Wizards as the new Athlete Development and Engagement Department.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wow. Okay. Interesting. I'm just pulling on my list, y'all. Sorry. I wasn't expecting a tie, so I got to find my list. Here we go.
Do.
All right. Damn. Let's go.
Oh, this dead
All Oh, yeah, I edited this shit out. All right. And they don't have to be current players, right? So, first list. Dale Ellis. Shamiqua Holesclaw. And, damn, why does she keep leaving me? Oh, no. Shit.
The Shamika Holtzclaw gave me the answer.
No.
That was the key.
All right. Dale Ellis, Shamika Holtzclaw, and Phil Garner.
University of Tennessee.
University of Tennessee is correct. All right.
I used to have a little thing for her.
She was a baller.
Whew. And had a little fatty banging.
Yeah, now she's a legit crazy person.
Hey, she could be that.
And, you know,
Yeah, nah.
Well, she's reformed now. She's
is.
an advocate for mental health.
She is. And what may interest you the most in your interest in her, Yosh, is her trouble started when she beat up her girlfriend. So I don't know if you maybe barking up the wrong tree.
Hey, listen, I just said I had to think before. I didn't say it was a possibility.
Oh, man. All right. Al?
Yes, sir.
All right. On you. The three names are Brian Leach, DJ Augustine, and Roger Clemens.
University of Texas.
University of Texas is correct. All right. Next round, it gets a little bit harder. All right, Yosh. Three names for you. Ryan Hartman, Troy Williamson.
Oh. University of South Carolina.
Oh, University of South Carolina is correct. All right.
Troy used to hang out at the crib.
Oh, word. How convenient.
Troy used to hang out with the crib with my cousin. Shouts out to Corey Boyd. Crib.
How Corey doing anyway, man?
He doing all right, man. He's a running backs coach out here in Columbia, and he has his own program.
Yeah.
NFL football training program for youth. So he's doing really well living here in Columbia now.
Cool.
Doing really well.
All right. Good stuff. All right. Al?
Yep.
Next for you. Put it up here. This. All right, your list, Al, is Derica Hamby, Randolph Childress, and
Wake Forest.
Oh, yeah, Wake Forest. You got it. All right.
Yeah, Randolph Childress to give it away. I thought he was in the NBA too, man.
I thought he was going to be really good in the NBA.
So he's going to
right.
Let me down.
All right, let's see. Get to the next list here.
This is taking longer than
All right. The next for you, Yosh. The names for you: Frank Reich, Boomer Esiason, and John Lucas II.
That's
10, 9, 8, 7.
That's Maryland.
5. Ooh, good one. University of Maryland.
I almost said Minnesota.
All right. Let's see.
Boomer Esiason giveaway. It's my left-handed wonder.
Ah, right. All right. Let's see. Al, for you, your three names are Drew Gooden,
Okay.
Skip James, and lastly,
Kansas.
oh, damn. Yep, it is Kansas. And the last one was going to be a giveaway anyway. All right. Yosh, it is on you. No, I'm just going obscure as fuck. All right. Yosh, on you will be A.J. Morris. Steve Henson and Mike Evans.
Oh, Mike Evans. That's holy shit. Didn't Mike Evans play at Kansas State?
Oh, Kansas State. Damn good. All right. All right, Al, your three on this one will be Bob McDonald, James Bailey, and John Battle.
Oh man.
10,
Battle,
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3,
Rutgers?
2. Damn, Rutgers is correct. Okay. All right.
This is ridiculous. You guys are hilarious for knowing the most obscure people. Like, every time y'all get to whatever name triggers it,
Right.
like, oh, yeah.
Like, oh, shit. Yeah,
It's
I know
only
that.
1 out of 3, but as long as you know 1 out of the 3.
All I need is a name.
All right. All right, Yosh, let's get yours. All right. Yosh, yours are Sean Doolittle, Joe Harris, and Mike Scott.
Wow. You did go.
Joe Harris is University of Virginia.
Damn, University of Virginia. Yo, okay.
Okay, yo.
This is hilarious.
Yo.
All right. Next one. Al, yours. All right. All right. Yours, Al, is Charlie Hickman, Hal Greer, and Darren Williams.
Darren Williams. God damn it.
Darren Williams.
Well, scratch Darren Williams because he
Okay.
was a transfer. That's kind of
Oh yeah. That's not legal. That's not legal.
all right. All right. So, last name for you will be Mike D'Antoni.
Mike D'Antoni, the coach.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. You just stumped me. Yeah, I don't know. I'll just Colgate University. I have no idea.
They
Can I
all
take-
have
Charlie Greer, I think, was Colorado.
Hal Greer.
Hal Greer. Damn. Is it Charlie?
Oh, you said Hal Greer.
Yeah.
Oh.
So,
man.
They're
I
all
didn't know
from
that.
West Virginia. Is where they're all from. I was going to throw you Jerry West, but I thought it might have been too easy.
I might have got that one.
Might have.
Psych.
Oh, man. Well, all right. Well, Yoshi, got to get one right to win.
Oh, I'll take that.
I got one right. And he got one wrong. I went first.
Yo.
A word.
I went first. He got his wrong. How do I got to get another one?
You trying to Donald Trump us on the rules? That's what you're doing?
Okay. You cannot. The rule is always you can't win on somebody else's wrong answer. All right.
I went first and he got a wrong answer.
Right. So you can't win on his wrong answer. So, on you, it is Nyheim Hines, Thurl Bailey,
Oh, okay.
and Andrew Brackman.
The Hines kid is what triggered it for me. My young, what's that? West Coast. That would be North Carolina State.
NC
Who's
State
Hines?
is correct. Nyheim Hines, running back for the Colts.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Thurl
He
Bailey
was in
threw
his
it for
second
me.
year. Thurl
He
Bailey.
won the championship
All right.
with
Cool.
Govana.
Hey, y'all know some of the
Congrats,
most
yo.
obscure things.
Right. I was running out of colleges. I was like, how the hell they know
Right.
this? But good job, y'all.
Hey, you just recognize one of the names.
Right.
That's it.
Yeah.
That was impressive, considering I ain't recognized none of the names ever. So,
West Coast is about to be like High Point University. For everybody.
right. Everybody went to High Point. Everybody.
Everybody.
Oh, man. Well, damn good job, y'all, through the regular rounds and the overtime. That was pretty fucking impressive. So, but Yosh, you took it home, man. What you got for me for your parting shot?
For my parting shot, I want to, first off, because I got some great news today. So there are 3 entities I want to give a shout out today.
So you don't have it. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Okay, sorry. The 3 entities that I want to give a shout out to. It's not going to be long, I promise. The first one is the South Carolina High School League. Along with the second one, the South Carolina Basketball Coaches Association. I have been picked to be an all-star coach in the North-South All-Star Game this year.
Man.
Dope.
And so most of all, I want to thank the players that I've coached over the last 7 years as a head coach. It's been an amazing run. I couldn't have done it without those guys listening to me and everything else. I mean, when I got the email, my heart dropped. I'm only an assistant coach this year, but you have to be an assistant coach first, and then you can be a head coach. So just the honor of being an assistant coach on the team is amazing to me. So,
all right, good stuff, man. Congrats.
Sport. Thanks.
Yeah, man. Congratulations.
I appreciate it.
No doubt. Shit. Al, you finished second. Can you top that?
Nope. So I'm gonna just say it again. Congratulations. That's a great honor. And continuing doing what you're doing, bro. You know, we looking forward to hearing those reports this year again as your team makes it happen. So that's just a reminder that season is coming upon us. So that's good to know. Right. But you know, mine is just have a great week. Enjoyed this show. Looking forward to next week. Unfortunately, the A's did not make it past the wild card game, so I didn't have to do a recap like I promised West Coast Jay. So
damn,
I had it all wrote out and everything. But go Yankees as we moved on in the division to the championship, in the playoffs. But other than that, man, have a great week, brothers.
Absolutely. West Coast, what you got for me?
Man, got a couple of birthday shout-outs. That's about it. Happy birthday, my homegirl, Sarah. Happy birthday to my homegirl, Melissa. And happy birthday to my auntie, Carolyn.
Happy birthday, homegirls. And hey, auntie.
Right. But other than that, shout out to Money and Pool. With the if you're not rocking with Defy Life, So what is your life about?
Man, go on with that, man. Go on.
Man, go ahead on. Oh, man. Same as usual for me, man. Quick update. A little bit different this week, though. My son's team suffered their first loss, 20-13. But these words are for the parents. And you guys being coaches, I'm sure you understand that youth sports would be a lot more fun if adults weren't involved a lot of times. So we had an instance of the game, whenever it's youth sports, the home team has volunteers from parents or whatever, team volunteers to run the chains. And so one of the chains guys was a parent of one of the players on the other team, and he was signaling in signs, stealing, our plays and signaling them in to the players. So he got caught, got kicked out of the stadium, and at that point it was on. So then one of our fans, who was also a parent of a player, he started throwing quarters at the officials. It's ridiculous, man.
Wow.
Yeah. And he wanted to fight one of our coaches for his son not getting any carries in the first half. It's just ridiculous, man. I always caution my son that, it ain't gonna always be like this. You're not always gonna be on a stacked team. There's gonna be times where you're gonna be on a stacked team and you're gonna lose a game. It's gonna be times you're gonna be on a shitty team. You might go 0-5 instead of 5-0. So just enjoy the ride and learn from the losses. But I hate to see parents take it so seriously and don't allow the kids to enjoy it. So everybody out there involved in youth sports, I'm sure you guys understand. And let the kids enjoy it, man. That's the biggest part. None of these kids statistically are going to end up in the NFL. So let them enjoy what they have while they're young. And if they do go on to another level, that's great. But let them be kids and enjoy youth sports while they have it.
True that.
So
fair enough.
But that's all I got, man. Again, Yosh Poo. I will. I'm about to get off here and come check on y'all, see if this plumbing job is done. And
money and poo.
I mean money and poo. I'm sorry. Damn, Yosh, my bad. I want to try and throw you into the plumbing job, so I might send you over there to go check on. But anyway, everybody, great show, guys. We will talk to you again next week. Until then, Defy Life.
Defy Life.
Defy Life.
Defy Life, y'all.
Welcome to the Anything, Everything, and Nothing podcast with Lynn and Kim. Join us as we discuss the latest in everything from entertainment and current events to the craziness that is our real life.
Let's laugh, let's live, let's talk about it. New episode every Tuesday on the Defy Life Podcast Network. And remember, if you're not defying life, then what are you doing? Lynn and Kim.